guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Adidas Ultraboost 3.0 in the triple white colorway. Now this is a shoe that has become extremely popular, not only as a very good running product, but mostly in the sneaker market when it comes to wearing them casually. Most people are buying Ultraboost to wear them casually as kind of a fashion statement. It's a cool sneaker at the moment, which again is partially why they are hard to come by, especially in the more desirable colorways like this one that I have right here. We're going to take a closer look at the color in today's video, but we're also going to talk tech specs, performance, what it's like to actually run in a pair of Ultraboost, and what the experience is all about. Are these actually good running shoes? I think most people know that they are, but I'm going to explain why in today's video. So if you're interested in learning more, stick around, watch the entire thing. If you are interested in a pair of Ultraboost for yourself, not necessarily this colorway because it is, I believe, sold out as I'm making this video. Anyways, I'll leave a pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below in the description, and that'll take you to the review page on my website where you will find buy it now links for the Ultraboost, where you can get them right around the retail price of $180 US. Not too many of these colorways end up going on sale due to the popularity of the sneaker. So, Ultraboost 3.0, what exactly have they changed? I've worn the Ultraboost before, I've reviewed the Ultraboost on the channel before, but this is the 3.0 model. And essentially what they've changed from 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0 is the prime knit upper itself. Not so much in terms of the feel of the shoe, because really the feel is the same as the original Ultraboost, but the look of the prime knit. And I would argue that the original Ultraboost and that prime knit upper was more geared towards performance, because it was initially intended as a performance product, but Kanye West started wearing them, a couple celebrities started wearing them, and that kind of influenced the whole sneaker market and sneaker culture into making this more of a fashion statement than a performance product. It still very much is a capable running shoe, one of the best running shoes you can buy if you like a more heavily padded feel, but with this 3.0 pattern to the upper, it's definitely pretty clear to see that the influence was more around making the shoe look cooler as opposed to better performance with the pattern that they've implemented, again, just by comparing it to the 1.0. So it kind of has this fairly random knitted pattern, if I'm completely honest with you guys. It has kind of like a streaking design. It reminds me a lot of the Yeezy sneakers that are available from Adidas at the moment. So I guess that's kind of what I would compare it to if I was comparing it to anything. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. You're probably familiar with this shoe if you're watching this video. But with this particular colorway, it's not a true whiteout. It actually has white and kind of like a really, really light gray within the prime knit design itself, pretty much across the entire upper, which actually looks quite good in person. It's a detail that you don't necessarily pick out as well in the online stock photos. You're going to find that the Adidas stripes, the reinforcement side panels on both sides, aren't actually true white. They're more just translucent, which ends up looking white. But the heel counter is solid white plastic with the Ultraboost branding there and kind of like a chrome finish. White liner on the inside, white laces of course. The boost foam is white, which you're going to find on most Boost sneakers, although they are doing colored Boost now. And then you're going to find the little reinforcement piece, which is attached to the torsion system at the bottom, is gray in color. Also a little black strip through the middle. And then the rubber outsole is white as well, with the Continental rubber branding there in black at the tip of the toe. So all in all, I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a very good looking sneaker. It's part of the reason why I picked them up. But how are they as a performance product? Because that is kind of the main reason why I think you should buy a pair of Ultraboosts, or just even to wear them casually. It's important that the shoes are comfortable, and that is exactly what you're getting with the Ultraboost. What's so great and what's so special about this shoe is not so much the upper, because it's fairly unremarkable in regards to I guess the technical achievement that it is. It's a basic elasticated knitted material. The knitted material isn't necessarily even holding your foot in place all that well. They have to add these plastic strips on the side that attach to the lacing system to hold your midfoot and essentially hold your foot in the shoe while you are actually running in them. You don't necessarily need to use the laces or tie them up if you're just wearing them casually. They're going to hold your foot in They're going to hold your foot in place just fine, but to actually run in them, you want your foot to be secure, so that's why these side pieces are there. So obviously it's not the upper that's special. What is special? It's the Boost Foam outsole. For those that don't know what Boost Foam is, and I think most people are familiar with it at this point, Boost Foam is a special type of material that is exclusive to the Adidas brand, where you can see it looks a lot like styrofoam, and essentially what it is small individual capsules of a special foam plastic material. It's a special makeup that they have, where all of those capsules are fused together to create one chunk of foam, an outsole, if you will. And the reasoning behind this is, as opposed to a regular outsole, where it would normally be made out of one solid piece of foam, where over time, it'll start to compress to the point where it doesn't have the same feel, it doesn't have the same springiness or bounciness. And obviously every foam is gonna be a little bit different in terms of its compound and how it feels on your feet. If I'm comparing this to something from Nike, I guess it would be Lunarlon. And Lunarlon is one of those foams that can feel really, really good at first, but after a few months, especially if you wear the shoes a lot for running, it's gonna compress and it's not gonna have the same feel as a fresh pair will. With Boost foam, you have these individual capsules that will individually compress and individually bounce back into shape. So instead of one solid piece, you can't really compress all of these little capsules that are essentially welded together. So the end result is a very bouncy, huge energy return sensation from the Boost foam itself. If you've worn a Boost sneaker before, especially the Ultraboost, because it is pretty much just straight up Boost foam underneath your feet, it has this really, really interesting bouncy sensation and an incredible durability to it. Not so much in terms of it wearing away, because that's mainly down to the rubber outsole, which does tend to be quite durable, by the way, but in terms of the longevity of that sensation that you get in terms of bounciness. Like I said, a solid foam shoe will kind of compress to the point where it has a firmness that it didn't have when it was fresh, whereas my original Ultraboost that I got, what, 2-3 years ago now, they still have the exact same bounciness, the exact same comfort level, that same energy return that they did from day one, which is extremely impressive from a shoe that I've worn as much as I have in that original Ultraboost. So in terms of longevity of the comfort and the longevity of that energy return responsiveness you get from the outsole, nothing even comes close to Boost foam, unless you're comparing something like an Air Max sneaker from Nike, which again, I don't put on the same level, but that's gonna have the same type of longevity in that it's not gonna compress like a foam would. So that's kind of the idea of what this is all about, and that's really what makes the Ultraboost sneaker so good. In regards to flexibility, you get good flexibility through the forefoot and toe box area because you don't have that torsion plastic system, which does run through the midfoot and heel. You get a good chunk of foam through the heel area, and then it kind of tapers down towards the forefoot, but still provides really good underfoot cushioning pretty much throughout the entire foot. And then the outsole, it's a continental rubber, has this cool kind of cutout design where it doesn't prevent the flexibility of the foam whatsoever, and it's also really, really grippy. So not an ideal shoe for sprinting in all honesty, not a trainer at all either. So I wouldn't recommend sprinting, making quick cuts, change the direction in this shoe. It's just not made for that. The upper doesn't have good reinforcement, and it's not necessarily gonna feel all that stable, but for running at a steady pace in a straight line, be it on a treadmill at the gym or outside, it's gonna do that extremely effectively. And if you like having that really bouncy, tons of underfoot cushioning sensation to your running shoe, that's what this is all about. A lot of people always ask me what's the best running shoe they can buy. That's not really a question that has an answer. Everybody likes something different, but if you like a lot of underfoot cushioning and a bouncy sensation from a package that just feels extremely comfortable on feet, I think that the Ultraboost is definitely a shoe that should be at the top of your list and probably one of the best options, if not the best option in that particular criteria, if that's what you want in a running shoe. As far as the insole is concerned, this is something that I personally do with my Ultraboost. It does come with one, it's fully removable, and it's relatively thin, just a single layer of foam with a mesh liner on top, but underneath, you have basically a thin kind of synthetic suede liner with little cutouts that sits directly on top of that Boost foam midsole. So for me, I personally wear them without the insole just because I like the more direct feel of that Boost foam versus it being muted a little bit with the actual insole itself. So you don't necessarily have to use the insole. I personally don't. And again, I just prefer how that feels. In regards to weight, the last thing worth mentioning, in a size 9.5 US, these guys weigh in at 10.7 ounces. So they're not overly lightweight, but they're definitely not heavy as far as kind of more heavily padded running shoes are concerned. Can you get lighter runners? Absolutely. But I definitely don't think that these feel heavy on your feet whatsoever. And if you're training, just jogging, running, it's not something that I think is going to be super noticeable anyways. Again, though, it depends on what type of running shoe and what type of feel that you like. And what you're looking for in terms of whether or not the weight of the shoe is going to impact your buying decision. That's enough about the looks and the tech specs though. Let's take a look at the fit and feel on feet. So you can see here on the right shoe, I actually swapped in some junior length white reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for your Ultraboost or your running shoes in general, they are technically made specifically for soccer shoes, but they're shoelaces. They work in pretty much everything, and they look pretty cool on this particular colorway, especially if you want the reflective aspect. So if you're interested in a pair, there'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So go ahead and check that out. The website is www.sr4ulaces.com. So I'll just tie these up really quickly so you can get a look at both of them on feet. Really easy to put on. It's technically a one-piece opening with a full kind of one-piece prime knit upper. We have a little bit of padding here at the top of the tongue area just to prevent any kind of lace bite where you are actually tying the knot and tying the shoes a little bit tighter. So I'll just tie them up. Obviously a very shallow lacing system with just 4 lacing positions on either side of the foot. But I'll just tie these up really quickly and you'll get a look at both of the shoes on feet, which immediately when you put these on, what's great about the Ultraboost, and if you are going into a store, not even knowing about this shoe, I just feel like this is one of those shoes that you'll put on and immediately be kind of impressed by how soft and how unique the shoe feels underfoot. This Boost foam is really, really impressive and just offers such a comfortable feel out of the box. There's nothing to break in. And again, that same springiness that you feel from a brand new pair is maintained on a pair that's 2-3 years old. It just doesn't break down like a standard foam would. So in regards to the width of the shoe and the general fit, they fit really, really comfortably. Obviously, the tightest part is going to be the midfoot where you have the plastic reinforcement piece, but that depends on how tight you tie the laces. If you don't tie them tight, it doesn't really have a tight fit through the midfoot. And then the forefoot and toe box area being just this elasticated prime knit, it has a super sock-like, really flexible feel to it. Really no rigidity, no stiffness to the shoe overall. So out of the box comfort, super comfortable and really suitable for pretty much any foot type, even if you do have wider feet. And in regards to sizing, I normally wear a 9.5 US in running shoes. That's what I went with here. And the fit and the length is pretty much perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would personally recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So that is pretty much it, guys, for my review of the Ultraboost 3.0. Again, very, very similar to the original variation of the Ultraboost. Slight variation in the actual prime knit upper, but that's more so affecting the looks of the shoe rather than the actual feel and performance. Still an excellent running shoe, highly, highly recommended. And again, if you are interested in a pair for yourself, you can click the little eye in the corner of the screen or the first link down below in the description. That'll take you to the review page on my website where you will find buy it now links for any currently available colorways at the $180 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social... Oh, that was a voice crack. It's one take. We're going to keep going though. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, last 10 seconds and I made a mistake. That's pretty good though.